So where do you go after serving in the White House? Our next speaker, Andrew McLaughlin, considered writing the next great American novel, following in the footsteps of Art Vandelay and becoming a famous architect, or even taking up sloth farming, and no, I did not make that up. He's quite the Renaissance man. But fortunately for us, he put all those dreams on hold to become the next executive director of Civic Commons. Civic Commons is a project developed as an initiative of Open Plans and Code for America to assist governments in sharing open source code and resources to create more effective and efficient government. Through collaboration and sharing of best practices, the project holds the promise of scaling innovation across thousands of US municipalities and eventually benefiting millions of US citizens. It's a role to which Andrew brings unique insight and perspective, having served as Deputy Chief Technology Officer of the United States, Director of Global Public Policy at Google, and as a Senior Fellow at Harvard's Berkman Center for Internet and Society. Please join me in welcoming the next speaker in the Omidyar Network Speaker Series, Andrew McLaughlin.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So this is a crowd to which I do not need to sell the incredible changes that technology is bringing in our daily lives. The grand challenge for technology and government is whether we can bring the vectors of progress that are represented in your pocket by the mobile devices that give you access to staggering amounts of computing power and resources essentially for free, thanks to Moore's Law, which drives the cost of computing down, which drives the speed of bandwidth up, and so forth. The question is, can we bring those kinds of vectors of progress into government? One way to do that is to help governments make the most efficient use of their resources possible. One way to make very efficient use of the available time and money that people have to contribute to technology projects is for them to work together, to pool their resources, and to develop projects in common. Civic Commons is an organization that's going to try to help cities, counties, state and local governments, the units of government that are really on the hook to deliver public services. It's going to help them build their technologies together. So right now we have cities across the United States and around the world that essentially act independently. They operate in isolation, and yet they face a lot of the same problems. Their citizens have the same needs, and their technology needs are essentially the same. So there's a commonality of interest across these different cities. The big question for Civic Commons is, can we network them together and help them develop projects together in common using the techniques of open source development? The good news is that we know how to do this. It's already happening. We can look around not only Silicon Valley but around the country and see many incredibly successful open source projects, from the Apache universe, projects like Hadoop, to Mozilla and the Firefox browser, and many others besides. The intersection of public sharing and software is the oh my God moment that we're aiming for, not the PDA moment of public sharing and lovers. So very quickly, we're trying to build a platform for open cities. A civic stack is what Tim O'Reilly likes to call it. Civic Commons is a nonprofit. We're going to be working with cities. We're going to try to help them figure out what technologies are available, where the gaps lie, and then how to build out collectively to fill those gaps. As an organization, we're going to try to do some of the boring stuff. In addition to assisting with project managing and providing technical assistance, we're going to try to do the documentation and providing information resources, guides, how-tos that are comprehensible not just to the techies and nerds, but to the city managers and mayors who would like to figure out what they could do with technology to make it cheaper. And finally, we're going to try to network in the various support organizations, proprietary and open source, experts, vendors, academics, and nonprofits. To give you one specific example of something we're working on right now, we're working on the Open 311 initiative. Open 311, Phil Ashlock is here in the room. Raise your hand, Phil. Phil is here somewhere anyway. You should find Phil Ashlock if you want to talk about this. Open 311 is the idea that the infrastructure to enable cities to take inputs from their citizens through email, phone calls, text messages, through an open API that application developers can work against to take those inputs, ticket them, route them to the responsible agencies or individuals, track the responses, measure the whole thing, provide maps in real time, dashboards to the mayor. It's a fantastic information backbone for the modern city. And we think it can be provided through a suite of modules and standards and open APIs that are shared among cities. A really great example of something we've been working on at the micro level is the San Ramon Fire Department app. So the fire chief of San Ramon is sitting having lunch with his team one day, and they see an ambulance come up to try to rescue a heart attack victim in the parking lot across from them. It took about 10 minutes for that rescue unit to get there, and yet he and his team were there with the right equipment, 10 feet away, basically. And so he said, couldn't we program an app so that everybody that's trained and licensed to give CPR could immediately get an alert whenever there's a heart attack victim. It'll show them where the victim is, where the local, the nearest defibrillator is, and they can mobilize even more quickly. This is an app that is now available on the iPhone. It won't work if you're not in San Ramon, but you can go and grab it. And the question is, shouldn't that code be made open source so that any city could benefit from it, could populate it with its data? And the answer is, of course. And that's what Civic Commons is going to help units of government do. We've got a whole bunch of current projects that range from the federal IT dashboard that you heard from Vivek. That is now open source code that we helped the federal government with. And now any city or state should be able to use it. And a number of other projects besides. There's a growing village of supporters and additional units of government and funders like the Omidyar network. Thank you for getting us off the ground. And I should also say that we recognize that these city issues are global. We are hoping to make this technology just as available and useful for Jakarta and Delhi and Rio as it is for Duluth, Minnesota and Oklahoma City. How can you get involved? Well, civiccommons.org has a whole host of resources that will be growing and blowing out. An example of where non-technical people can get involved is help us figure out how we can get the exact locations of every defibrillator in the country with 100% reliable data quality. That's a non-technical problem that needs to be solved and that we're working on right now. So, thank you very much.